There's a reason why your best ideas never make it past 16 bars. And no, it's not because you lack creativity, it's because no one showed you how to arrange music with purpose. There's one insanely powerful concept that once you get it, it will change how you finish tracks forever. It's called the Mona Lisa technique, and yes, it's based on a literal painting. It's the hidden structure to every professional track that you love. Some producers use it without even realizing, and most never do. But it works every time, and once you understand it, you'll know exactly how to turn your ideas into professional finished tracks with confidence and clarity. So watch this. As always, you can download this full project from the video and also my collection of signature presets for Serum and Diva. And once you download the presets, that's everything you need to make bangers. So you will not need to search or buy new presets. And if you are serious about building a real music career, you want to start releasing music, get signed, get booked, check the links in the description. I have a one-on-one mentorship that will help you with that, and a self-study track from scratch course. And let's get started with the video. So why it's so hard to turn a loop into a finished track? Let me show you what the problem is. Most producers make the same mistake. They build a great loop and then just copy paste it across the timeline. No structure, no evolution, just random sounds. That's what I call the vertical arrangement problem. Imagine you're painting and you nail one small section. It looks amazing. But instead of painting the rest of the canvas, you just copy that one part over and over and keep piling more paint onto it. No composition, no direction, just a chaotic blob in one spot. That's vertical arrangement. You are stacking all your best ideas in the same 8 bars, thinking more equals to better, when really it just turns into a mess. So now your loop is a wall of sound. Muddy, messy, no structure, just confusion. Every sound is fighting for attention. No one wins and the listener gives up. So how do you fix this? You need to start thinking horizontally, and that's how you will turn your ideas into finished tracks. Most producers think, what can I add now? But professionals think, what comes next? Because arrangement isn't about jamming all the sounds into one place. It's about spreading them across time, just like a story. You don't throw every character, plot twist, and explosion on page 1. You build it, chapter by chapter. This is the shift. So instead of adding elements vertically and getting stuck in the loop, start arranging horizontally immediately. Now look at this timeline. Each block is a sound, kick, bass, vocal, whatever. But instead of dumping them all at once, we are letting them breathe, one at a time across the track. This is horizontal arrangement. It's movement, flow. Every sound gets its moment to shine. This is how your track evolves, and this is how you actually finish something. But to arrange like this, you need a clean starting point, because if your loop has 10 sounds all fighting for attention, there's no space to build and no room to grow. Which brings us to the next step, creating a focused loop you can actually build a full track around. So let's zoom in on the part of the track that doesn't make your ears bleed, the main loop, which has some potential. Now let's strip it down brutally. So we need to analyze what's the main hook and then throw out the rest of the secret sauce that is secretly killing your track. So let's go here and we're gonna start with the kick and the bass. Obviously this is the main element in the dance track, especially in this genre. Then we have the drums. This is nice and it's a great foundation. So after that, we need to isolate the hook, which is in this case, the vocal, one of the main hooks in the track. Oh my, I need a minute. She's looking nice. She likes to feel the music rock her backside. Turn up just a little bit of bass on this. Nice. This is good, but a little bit empty. And this is where a lot of people start making some mistakes. So we have 2 arpeggios here, and you may feel that you want to add more, which is fine. I can understand that, but... Oh my, I need a minute. She's looking nice. She likes to feel the music rock. But at this point, you can see that the arpeggio is also the main hook, and it's just not gonna work if we use 2 main hooks in the track. So we need to sacrifice one and focus on the other one. So for this loop idea, we're gonna do just the vocal. So the arp is off. Then we have another one. Oh my, I need a minute. She's looking nice. She likes to feel the music rock her backside. Turn up. This arpeggio is more like a background, so still, we're gonna turn it off. And what we need right now is one more additional element that will glue everything together, which in this case is gonna be the lead and the fills. Oh my, I need a minute. She's looking nice. She likes to feel the music rock her backside. Turn up just a little bit of bass on this ride. She likes to feel the music rock her backside. Oh my, I need a minute. One more thing that you can do if you're not sure whether you have enough elements in your track is just test it how it sounds in the club, because what you hear on earphones is not always like a true representation of the track. So we need to go to the club and just check it out. Oh my, she's looking nice. She likes to feel the music rock her backside. Turn up just a little bit of bass on this ride. It's nice and minimal and exactly what we need. Cool, we finally got the loop that doesn't suck. But how do we build the rest without killing the vibe? Here's where the Mona Lisa technique comes in. It keeps your track clean, focused, and actually listenable. You know what makes the Mona Lisa a masterpiece? It's not because Da Vinci threw everything he had onto a canvas. It's because your eyes know exactly where to look. Her face, that's the foreground, the star of the show. Her hands and clothes, the middle ground, important but not stealing attention. The hazy background, just that, background, adds depth and doesn't distract. Your track needs that same structure, one clear focus, solid support, and subtle details behind it. Here's how this works in music. Foreground, the hook, lead, vocal, whatever grabs attention. Middle ground, drums, bass, groove. It holds the track together. Synth fills count as well. And the background, pads, textures, little sprinkles of effects. They shouldn't be the loudest thing in your mix. So let me show you how the Mona Lisa works inside Ableton so you can see different examples of foreground, middle ground, and background. The first loop is going to be the loop that we worked in the previous step, and let's start with the foreground, which in this case is the vocal. Oh my, I need a minute. She's looking nice. She likes to feel the music rock her backside. Turn up just a little bit of bass on this ride. So now the main melodic foundation, the focus point, is already taken, and this is where a lot of people make a critical mistake by adding one more competing element, whether that's arpeggio, chord, melody, bassline melody, whatever. You cannot do it because there's only one focus on the track. The next step is the middle ground, which is the kick and the bass, and it drives the whole track with the vocal. Now we have a very solid foundation. Oh my, I need a minute. She's looking nice. She likes to feel the music rock her backside. Turn up just a little bit of bass on this ride. She likes to feel the music rock her backside. In some cases, I would say that the kick and the bass are kind of the foreground, like the vocal. So in these kind of tracks, the bass is one of those main accents, the main melodic elements, but it really depends. So let's now break down the rest of the elements. We have the lead. So in this example, the lead is the middle ground. So it goes with the vocal, but it's more like an additional sound that is just adding a little bit of depth and variation to the main loop without taking away from the main vibe. So let's listen with those 3 background sounds with the middle ground sounds on, and then I'll show you the background. Oh my, I need a minute. She's looking nice. She likes to feel the music rock her backside. Turn up just a Now with the additional middle ground sounds, the track sounds full without sounding too busy or too complicated. The sounds that we added, they follow the vocal without taking away from the main vibe. So I'm kind of following the rhythm and the melody in the vocal, and this is one of the cheat codes. And for the backgrounds, it's usually going to be very subtle FX sounds or pads. In this example, what I did is I organic hit, which is really cool, and the noise. These sounds are usually going to be your background layer. And I'm going to play you one more time so you can see and hear that they add a lot, but you don't hear until you actually see how it looks and sounds in the project. Without the background sounds, I'll make them a little bit louder, and then with.
Oh my, she's looking nice. She likes to feel the music rock her backside. Turn up just a little bit of bass on this ride. She likes to feel the music rock her backside.
And now with the background sounds.
Oh my, she's looking nice. She likes to feel the music rock her backside. Turn up just a little bit of bass on this ride. She likes to feel the music rock her backside.
So you can hear how adding little organic elements, noises, and hits is a very powerful tool to add depth to the track without making it sound busy. And one more cool thing about this, when I was making this tutorial, I was a little bit stuck and I didn't know what elements I could use for the background. And there's one secret hack that I'm gonna share with you and that you can download for free. So I created a custom ChatGPT. You can think about it like a Vlad AI coach. I trained this GPT on my videos, on my ideas, philosophy, and concepts. And you can see I asked it what elements and sounds could I add to my track. It's a pretty long prompt. I'm very detailed. And then it gave me, okay, filtered ambient noise loop, grainy FX swells. So if you want to download this as well as the project, the link is going to be in the description. I've been using this bot, and even at professional level, it's insane how streamlined and more efficient my creative process now when I'm making music with ChatGPT. Now that your loop is clean and all sounds have their place, let me show you how to build a full track. Think of it like this. Your loop is a scene. Arrangement is a full movie. If we keep showing the same scene over and over again, nobody sticks till the end. So now let's actually build this loop into a track that goes somewhere. The first step of the arrangement process is creating the track outline, aka the skeleton or the structure of the track. In my opinion, this is the fastest and the easiest part in the whole arrangement, but this is where a lot of producers start overthinking, get stuck, and give up on the track. In fact, 90% of you are doing this process backwards. So let me show you a very easy fix that you can implement in your workflow so that you don't get stuck in the loop ever again. So the problem is, that most producers just copy paste one loop like this and then start figuring out how to add variation and make it interesting. And as I said, this is backwards because arrangement and idea creation should be two separate processes. And when we arrange, we should already have everything that we need to arrange the track. So this is why you instead want to create 3 to 4, maybe 5 loops before you start arranging, because they become building blocks and all you will have to do is just to connect them like Lego blocks and just assemble the outline, the draft of the track. So let's do that now. The first step to arrangement outline is deciding on the length of the track. Let's say in this example, it is going to be 4 minutes, so I can put end here. And since I already know that this is the climax drop, I can start putting everything on my timeline. Okay, so this is the end. I think the break is gonna be around here. This is gonna be climax drop. So this is 16 bars. So let's actually make it a little bit longer. I think 4:30 is ideal here, so that the final drop is exactly 1 minute long. Then we're gonna do cool down. And this is the outro. This is really nice. Then we can do like this. Before the break, there should be some sort of bridge, or again, the cool down. Cool down. Then this is gonna be bridge to break. Nice. Then this is gonna be drop minimal. Yeah, drop drop minimal, main drop, main drop. You can see exactly same structure. So minimal, main drop. So that's pretty much it for the outline. Let's now start assembling the whole track and putting our loops on the timeline. So I will show you how I do it. So we're gonna go here. So we duplicate this. Okay, now we have the climax drop, which is perfect. Then cool down, intro, end. Okay, so for the cool down, some sounds will go away. So if this is the outro, definitely the bass is out. And I'm not trying to add too much here, right? Let's just quickly do that because here speed is king. It is super, super important. Okay, then the drop minimal. For the minimal drop, we will use this section. And we can go like this, drop minimal, then the main drop with the vocal could be this. And we wanna have a little bit of variation here. I don't think we're gonna go like 1 minute with the same vocal drop, so probably it's gonna look something like this. Minimal, vocal drop, then this is gonna be the variation. And then the cool down, same structure like at the end, right? And the breaks I'm skipping. I'm intentionally doing that as the last thing. And then we just copy paste it here like this. And this is break mini like this. And probably I'm just gonna take out the bass here and the rides for now. Let's rename this rides. Perfect. That's all we need for now. Let me quickly show you the loops that I am working with so you know. This is the minimal variation. Then we have the vocal drop. You heard that in the intro.
She's looking nice. She likes to feel the music rock her backside. Turn up just a little bit of bass on this ride. She likes to feel the music rock her backside.
And then we have the climax drop, which I really love. The theme changes here a little bit. Very nice. And you can hear with solid loops like this, it was so easy for me to arrange the whole track. Okay, so we are done with step number 1, the step number 2, and now the third step is adding variation. And here we're gonna use subtraction. As I mentioned earlier in the video, it is way better to use it to add variation. So what we want to do here is create a new MIDI track. I think I have a MIDI track. So I'm just gonna mark here that this should be the main section, then a little bit of variation like this. Then we need to do same thing here. So I just know that this is the climax drop. I think, did I make it 1 minute exactly? I think we need to do it. Yeah, actually, this is fine. So this is the main section, climax. This way I am able to see easily what is happening, right? And what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna subtract the elements and show you the final result, how I did it, so you can replicate my process. Finalized the breaks, not like every single detail, but the overall flow is done and it is super simple. I will show you that first. So here we have the break build and then the second drop of the track, which sounds like this. I'm basically just taking the same element, the arpeggio, and we are using that to transition. Check it out. It doesn't have the automation yet. This is going to be the next step, but check it out. This will go out, and you can see it's really nice. It's keeping the energy flowing. you can see we can just copy paste the drums like I did, because essentially those are two same ideas here: minimal drop, then the main drop, right? So just like this is it. So most of the times it's just going to be subtracting the drums a little bit, building on top of that, and that's it. So for the cooldown, obviously we are removing the right here, removing everything as well. So the additional drums go out, and then we can also remove the filler sounds, the vocals like this. So the cooldown to intro will sound like this. And the outro, very, very nice, very clean. Here, same thing. So we have the intro of the track.
Oh my, I need a minute. She's looking nice.
I think we can remove the vocal.
Oh my, I need a minute.
Let's do the filter here. This is very minor automation. So something like this is cool.
Music rock a better. I need a minute. I need a minute.
So you can see at this point the track is like 85% done. This is so simple, so straightforward. So if you do like I'm teaching you in this video, arrangement will be effortless, pretty much. And the last step of the arrangement is going to be the draft automation. So this is not the final automation, more like quick touches to make the track feel alive, to add variation, energy, and make it cohesive from start to finish. So I'm gonna do the automations and then explain everything what I did so you can replicate me. I finished the automation for the build and the second drop. So I'm gonna show you the example and break it down, what is happening, what I'm doing, and how you can keep the energy flowing and really add that life to the track. And once you understand the concept, you can then just replicate that for any section of the track. So first, let's have a look. The main automation is going to be the filter on the kick and the bass, and all I'm doing here is basically just going from the upper frequencies to the low frequencies here, and then a little bump like this. The bass is pretty much the same, so we're gonna close it. Then we have the filter automation on the drums. So we start with the closed, very dark drums on the whole group, and then the reverb as well to give it that wash out, the space kind of feel just right before the minimal drop, I would say, right? So we can even rename this minimal. And then the last thing is the lead. And again, I'm pretty much using the same logic here. Filter, start with a closed filter, and then you open the filter and then close it again. So it's up, down, up, down, up, down. So you just really want to understand where to open it and where to close it. And there's no really one size fits all strategy here. You should really feel the track, what is happening, and how you can add that movement. And the same thing I did to the vocal, right? So just I filter and have a listen to how everything sounds. And we're gonna do this on the speakers so you can hear the real impact of the drums, okay? Let's go here and check it out. And pay attention to every single automation here, not just this, but how the track progresses to like here, okay? You can see that I opened all the filters here and it created that contrast. We opened the door and then we closed it back again, and it's like up and down, up and down. And since this is the way that I structured my my drop, like the minimal section here, It's pretty logical, but you can also start with the full drop. But I'm starting my climax drop like here, right? And then it's pretty much the same logic, right? So closing the filter on the vocal here as well, then opening the filter, then the reverb, then the delay. This is very, very simple and straightforward. So just use filters, use delay, reverb, automation, and you should be good to go. And once you combine all the 4 steps here, you can see the arrangement is pretty much done in like 20 minutes. Okay, I'm professional, so it's easy for me, but you should be able to do everything in like an hour or 2. So we got a full track, not a loop, on live support. And now that the track is arranged, it's time to refine it to make sure it flows smoothly and keeps the listener engaged from start to finish. I'm gonna show you a technique that will help you to eliminate all the overthinking, second guessing, and show you exactly how to finish and polish that last 15% of the track. Because the problem is, at this point, a lot of producers start doing random things. You are approaching the production session without a clear roadmap and a game plan. You are just doing something for the sake of doing. So you kind of know, okay, I want to finish the track, but then you don't have a strategy. So I'm gonna show you how to fix that. Export the track audio. Grab a pen and a paper and start listening like a listener, not as a producer when you pay too much attention to tiny details and imperfections. Just go with the flow and don't look at the project inside. This is why we use the audio. Go through the full track and write all things that come to your mind. Mark the timing of the change you want to make. Go back to the project and start making the changes step by step. Once you finish all the tweaks, repeat the process until everything sounds good.
She's looking nice. She likes to feel the music rock her backside. Turn up just a little bit of bass on this ride. She likes to feel the music rock her backside. I need a minute. I need a minute.
I went through the whole track, which didn't take me more than like 5 to 7 minutes, super easy. And here is a list of little changes and little tweaks that I want to do to the track. So let's say you jump back to the Ableton session and now you know exactly what you need to do. So when you start doing those tweaks and changes, here is a little workflow trick that you can do. So if you did the changes and it worked well, then you can just mark it green. If it didn't really work that well, but it's still kind of the thing that you want to do, then you can mark it red. So it means, yellow. It means that you just gonna circle back to this. And let's say if you did it, you tried it, but it didn't sound that good, you just mark it red, then it means that you need to think again what you want to do here. And after you do everything, let's say my list is gonna look something like this. Okay, I did it. Then you repeat the process again until everything feels natural and until you are like, let's say 90 to 95% happy with the track. And after that, the track is done. And trust me, once you do it this way, it should not take you more than like maybe 60 minutes to finish everything. So 1-2 more hours and the track is done. If you're doing more than that, you are probably overthinking. So that's the whole arrangement workflow. Conclusion: stop stacking everything into your loop. That's vertical thinking and it's killing your arrangement. Start thinking horizontally. Spread your sounds over time. Let them breathe. Build a journey. Simplify your main idea. Keep only what slaps. Kick, bass, groove, main melodic hook. Ditch the fluff. Use the Mona Lisa technique. One element leads, foreground, others support, middle ground, and the rest adds vibe, background. And create movement through subtraction. Mute, automate, take things away. Less sounds, more impact. Okay, you got a solid arrangement now, but the next challenge is making your track stand out. And one of the best ways to do it is to create unique sounding bass lines. In my next video here, I'm gonna teach you 3 bass sound design secrets that feel like cheating. And if you use those, you will make your tracks stand out instantly so you can forget about any competition. So check out the video here.